Welcome back. In our last shiur, we discussed HaRambam's minimalist comment on the first pillar of Shimon HaTzaddik's tripod that sustains the world, namely Torah, which for HaRambam is filled with meaning and refers to the supreme importance given to the acquisition of knowledge. For Maimonides, this is not limited to Torah knowledge and study alone, but also includes natural sciences, mathematics, and philosophy. HaRambam then goes on to explain the second pillar. And here, one notes what might be considered minor, but is quite significant. HaRambam changes the order of the Mishnah in his commentary. The Mishnah, as we said earlier, says the following. Shimon HaTzadik hayam mishe'arei anshei knesset hagdola, hu haya omer, al shelosha devarim ha'olam omed, al haTorah, al ha'avodah, ve'al gemilut chasadim. HaRambam switches the order to Torah, gemilut chasadim, and avodah. I'll read it inside. HaRambam says, Ki b'mada v'hi haTorah. We explained this last shiur. The second, u'b'ma'alot hamidotiyot v'heim gemilut chasadim. For HaRambam, the acquisition of moral qualities, that is gemilut chasadim. The student of HaRambam immediately realizes that this is not some editor's mistake or scribal sloppiness. For Maimonides, living a life of chesed, kindness, and developing the qualities of compassion and morality is a very close runner-up to the supreme value placed on acquisition of knowledge. Let us consider the last chapter of the Moreh Nevuchim, where one might argue Maimonides lays out for us what is possibly a summary of his life's work. HaRambam examines their four, and I quote, perfections which men consider valuable. The first perfection is material possessions, which is rejected as transient. The second perfection is, and I quote, the perfection of bodily constitution and shape. This too is rejected because it does not relate to the perfection of man qua man. The third perfection, which he refers to as moral habits, is also initially rejected as the highest perfection because, and here I'm going to read it inside, this perfection regarding moral habits is, as it were, only the disposition to be useful to people. Consequently, it is an instrument for someone else. The highest perfection is, according to Maimonides, the acquisition of rational virtues, and I'll read it inside. The fourth species is the true human perfection. It consists in the acquisition of the rational virtues. I refer to the conception of intelligibles, which teach true opinions concerning divine things, etc. I'm reading again from the last chapter in the Moreh Nevuchim. But after explaining the order of perfections, HaRambam appears to contradict himself. Now, contradictions is part of the curriculum when studying the Moreh Nevuchim. This we will discuss another time. HaRambam writes as follows, and he's discussing the famous verse in Yirmiyahu, which speaks of the various traits that man should not consider. The quote is going to be self-explanatory. HaRambam says as follows. As we have mentioned, this verse, he's referring to the verse in Yirmiyahu 9:22, and the wondrous notions contained in it. And as we have mentioned, the saying of the sages, may their memory be blessed about it. We will complete the exposition of what it includes. For when explaining in this verse the noblest ends, he does not limit them only to the apprehension of God may be exalted, for if this were his purpose, he would have said, but let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, and have stopped there. Or he would have said, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am one. Or he would have said, that I have no figure, or that there is none like me, or something similar. But he says, writes HaRambam, that one should glory in the apprehension of myself, of God speaking, and the knowledge of my big M attributes, by which he means his big H actions, as we have made clear. With reference to this dictum, show me now thy ways, and so on. In this verse, and it's underlined in my Moreh Nevuchim, he makes it clear to us that those actions that ought to be known and imitated are loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness. A moment ago, he stated that morality is second to intellectual perfection. And now it appears that no, morality is the highest perfection of man. The resolution to this contradiction is clear. For starters, both knowledge and chesed, morality, are the highest perfections. But I would add something more. Morality that is grounded in knowledge of God is the highest form of human perfection. One can well imagine HaRambam reading this Mishnah of Shimon HaTzadik and experiencing a powerful resonance with what this great sage says to us. Thank you.